Under the big dome, Rob Chick, the referee for our contest. And the line called the Scuds. The checkers par excellence are starting for the St. Louis Blues. Brent Sutter, Jeremy Roenick, and Stephen Masseau for the Blackhawks. Ryan Marksman and Chris Chelios the defense. The Scuds are Kevin Miller, Rich Sutter, and Bobby Bassett. And the defense, Zombo and Hedekes. Icing on Chicago. Nicknamed Eddie the Eagle, Ed Belfour. 28 this past Wednesday, his 19th straight playoff start for the Blackhawks. He led the league in shutouts this season with 7, but here's what he has to show for the last week. The guy who is nicknamed Cujo, Curtis Joseph. The crowd was bowing to him here on Friday night. He'll be 26 on Thursday this week. It's his 25th straight start. He's the leader in shutouts this week with 2. Chris Chelios takes over from the draw. Chelios still looking for some good, solid effort in this series in points. Got it ahead for Sutter, and a pass went across the net mouth wide. And the net dislodged, and the net just bumps to go along with it. Rich Sutter and Masseau that time.
Well, it looks like the Hawks are going to drive to the net. Curtis Joseph concerned about something other than stopping the puck. Sutter barreling in there, keeps his legs driving. Hedekin's going to get the stick on him. But Sutter just keeps going. Good strength. Good persistence, and the end result is the net coming off its mooring. Daryl Sutter picking his lines up a little bit today, trying to get some scoring points. I would expect to see a lot of different combinations if the Hawks don't get on the board in this first period, Mike.
Daryl Sutter said yesterday we have to play to our identity, to our personality, to what everybody knows us as. The Chicago Blackhawks are a hard-nosed firebrand kind of team.
Well, they're a real good team once they get the lead, but if you don't score any goals, it's very tough. It's actually impossible to get the lead. And Curtis Joseph has kept them off the board with a big hit by Marksman.
It'll cost. Delayed penalty call coming up to Chicago. Marksman's hit will send him to the box.
Oh, Rob Chick says you have the puck, you go forward, and you hit him without it. And the guy without the puck, that's interference. And for that, Marksman is the penalty box. But that's a big hit. Chicago wants to play aggressively, but they've got to stay out of the penalty box. That costs them. Not only does it allow St. Louis on a power play, as you see the big hit there by Marksman on Bassin, it takes away the offensive flow the Hawks would like to get going. And as we mentioned, scoring goals has not been an easy thing for these Hawks.
Now, see, a hit like that is part of the Chicago personality.
It is, and it's a good hit. That's one of those penalties you should be able to kill. It's a penalty that's going to make the St. Louis Blues keep their heads up to the neutral zone. They won't be taking anything for granted. But you're in the first minute of the first period. You really want to give them a chance in the power play. That's when you have to use a little better judgment.
Okay, we have Shanahan with Janney and Hull up front. Emerson will be along with Brown, the two of them playing. Sutter penalty along with Steve Larmer. And in back, it is Smith as well as Kelly. Larmer up with this one. Steve Larmer lined up by Emerson. Back to Smith, and it's off to Paul Sutter. Chicago now back to Kelly. By Brown. Oh, they tried to put the head for Janney. A delayed offside coming up, and now it's whistled down. So that would have not been a legal play.
Bob Berry has to be very pleased to see where his team is sitting right now. A lot of people had them dead in the water with about 6 weeks to go in the season. His patience, his persistence has paid off. He's got himself a real good opportunity to advance in the Norris Division playoff round. Deserves an awful lot of credit for this team. He took over under adverse situation early in the season and just kept picking away his ideas until the players bought into it. They bought into it, and we've had great success ever since.
Latter part of February, 7 points out of the last playoff berth. But by the end of one spectacular weekend, victories over Minnesota and Chicago, and they were 3 points out. And 3 weeks later, they had 4. But the question was, could they keep it? And they didn't know until the final game that they played that they could. Chris Chelios lifted back in. Halfway through this power play. 18 minutes 12 seconds to go first period. From the arena in St. Louis, there's no score. A pass ahead on to Shanahan. Brown is breaking the pass and going. Save made by Belfour, and he hangs on. The first big test for a goaltender today, and it comes on a St. Louis power play.
Tremendous passing play. Janney, of course, the quarterback gaining the blue line. Shanahan putting the brakes on, and he spots Brown, the defenseman, coming up late in the play. There's Janney to Shanahan. Watch Shanahan stop here. Now Brown's coming. This is the defenseman. As he goes to the backhand, Belfour stays right with him, gets the blocker down, and keeps the score at 0. That's a real good play by Jeff Brown, jumping up on the play like that. A misread by the Chicago defense allows him to come in wide side. And Belfour has to come up with a big save. That would be a devastating goal against the Hawks this early in the game, Mike.
When Daryl Sutter was speaking yesterday about team discipline and about the fact that he really felt the team had only taken 3 bad penalties in 3 games, he said it's funny, our discipline tends to come to Ed Belfour and to Big Kelly. And often we don't see the goaltender involved in team discipline.
Well, if you thought of the Ron Hextall, for Quebec, you could probably put a goaltender that is involved in team discipline. Goaltenders that are fiery, fierce competitors, when they control their game.
Bozon shot it wide as it came on a crazy bounce off the glass.
It sets the tempo for the other players to control theirs. Just going to quit talking, this play is going on. Too many crazy things are happening out on the ice tonight.
Nice move by Bozon, who just missed it. Up, right back in it. Pete Smith is up with it. Smith able to send it off the glass. 12 seconds for the Blackhawks to kill. Hull's pass is flicked on by Feltner, but lifted back down. Down to the last 5. So Marchment made his impression, and Chicago did not get burned for it. Teams are back at full strength. Wilson's pass too far for Lowry, so he goes to get it himself. Rich Sutter around him, hammered by Roenick. A strong hit by Jeremy Roenick. Drilled back in by Hennigan. Stopped behind by Ed Belfour. Belfour fires it around, waiting is Hennigan. Cranks a shot, and that one knocked out. Lowry into the ice. Roenick was clear. Hennigan drove it back on, but it's an offside pass. Play is stopped here at the arena in St. Louis. We are scoreless. Conditioners in this old structure, and if they turn them on in the morning when they anticipate it'll be a very humid day, which today is with the temperature to be in the mid-60s, it helps keep the ice as good as they could possibly hope for. But the fans close to the air conditioners have to come and park it.
Well, we've got about 65-degree temperature outside and a balmy 52 in the arena today. It's a little frigid in here, folks.
It is Chelios to take it, but an icing call.
Chelios, the Hawk leader, does it all for the Hawks, but they want him to score or at least set up some goals. He has a great shot from the point. The Hawks will be driving to the net on the rush, and I would expect them to crowd the net on point shots, make sure they have at least 1, probably 2 guys in line with a shooter for the screen, for the tip, and for the rebound, and try to outmuscle the St. Louis Blue defenders. Chelios and Smith will be a big part of that succeed or fail, because they're the big guns on the Chicago Blue line. And we had one Sutter have an early summer, and there's a Sutter that's behind the St. Louis bench. Brian is gone, and Darryl is hoping he's not going to follow suit. And Brent, who is taking the face-off for the Hawks, is in Darryl's corner, but then there are 2 Sutter brothers on the Blues who would just as soon see this series end right away.
They are the twins, Ron, who is scratched because of a shoulder separation, and Rich, who is part of the scud line that started the game. 16:34 to go first period. No score in the game. Down to the ice goes Brian Noonan. Murray Barron roughing it up with Matteau as Noonan's shot comes in on Joseph. So he has stopped 96 straight. Going back to last Sunday afternoon, Joseph has. All the way down for an icing touch-up that is made by Craig Muni. Puck shot over half the rink and touched first by the opposition constitutes icing, and so it'll be brought right back near Joseph.
Well, Stefan Kittel made a good play. You know the Hawks want to come in and forecheck. Matteau was coming, he was driving. Kittel a little pick to give his defensive partner some time, and you would expect them to protect Curtis Joseph the same way.